G'day everyone, my name is Daniel O'Grady and welcome to another Wasabicars video. I hope you're all well, and this is the January update, so Happy New Year to you all, and thank you for the wishes on the Facebook page and in the comments from my videos for the best wishes. Much appreciated, and I hope you're having a great new year. I guess it's January 8th, so we're probably all back to work, which is a bit unfortunate, and that explains my formal attire. Pretty unfortunate, but still got my beanies, of course, which I can't wear at schools. In Japan, it is forbidden to wear hat wear. Man, rules are made by people with hair. So, first thing I want to talk about before I get into what I will be talking about in this video is the Wasabicars origin story. Also why I don't know much. But before I do those two things, I want to just quickly go over the videos that I produced in December. The first one was that 1965 Nissan Silvia, beautiful car, and I saw one just like it at the Toyota Museum but with hubcaps or with wheel trims. The next video I did was the December update, in which I talked about the trip that I would undertake in December. Then there was that custard pudding inspired Hachiroku, and then that 2004 Mazda MX-5 Miata Roadster Coupe. What a beautiful car. Then there was the one with noise. Yes, old school Skylines mostly, making noises, so that was really cool. And then a video that I shot in Australia early last year, that Buick 1956 Buick Century. And then I did the Aichi trip, so I just talked about my trip to Aichi. Aichi is Nagoya. Let's leave it at Nagoya. Then I did a quick video about someone suggesting engine swapping a 2000 GT and also the Rocky Auto one that they will be swapping. And the last video for December that I made was that Fuji Heavy Industries Fuji Cabin, sort of that Subaru affiliated factory thing. Yeah, one of the funny comments, someone said they're waiting for the STI version of that car, so that made me laugh a little bit. Okay guys, so that was December. That's what I did in December. Now what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about so recently there was a comment on the Facebook post of mine, and someone was saying how Wasabicars, or the guy, me, is not uber knowledgeable, and I laughed because it's so true. And it's kind of funny that I've made 450 videos. I've got a sort of a happening Facebook page, and people look at my pictures and videos, and yet I know next to nothing about the cars I find. Seriously, before I do a video, I got to hit Facebook. I've got to hit Wikipedia. I've got to go through my books. I just don't know anything. Now, how can that be? How can that be? Yeah, so 2 weeks and a year ago was the beginning of Wasabicars. So I'm driving along and I saw a yard full of muscle cars. Now, I was familiar with these cars because when I was living in Australia, I was a massive fan of Holdens, less so Fords and Chryslers, the big three Australian cars. And anyway, but I was looking at muscle car magazines, I was familiar with them. So anyway, that was the first video, sort of pre-Wasabicars, but anyway, this was the seed that Wasabicars sprouted from. So I made that video. It sort of instantly got tons of views, well, relatively speaking, and it was from there that I had this idea, hey, let's do car spotting in Japan, because Japanese castles is going nowhere. Okay, so from then, 2 years and a week ago was when I first noticed cars for a long time. I mean, for the decade before then, I'd sort of switched off cars, living in Japan, and there's other things to see. But, it was then that I started to notice cars in general, any old cars. And then, that was the first time I had ever noticed Japanese cars, in the weeks, months following that first video. In Australia, Rotaries were big, Toyotas were sort of Celicas, they were big, whatever, but not for me. I was into Australian cars. I had no interest in Japanese cars. In fact, yeah, I was one of those people who was Holden, and I was not into Japanese cars at all. So yeah, so for most of my life, I actively was turned off by Japanese cars. So 2 years ago I begin to learn about Japanese cars. I take photos of Japanese. This is the first time in my life. So I can tell you about some Holdens, but I don't know anything about Japanese cars. Well, of course it's changing every day, and basically what Wasabicars is, until now, is step-by-step me learning about Japanese cars. It's not solely about Japanese cars, it's car spotting, but mostly I see Japanese cars in Japan, no surprise, right? Yeah. Okay guys, so that's why I don't know anything about Japanese cars. It's true. It's very, very true. I guess a positive of that is I hope, you know, people who are also new to the Japanese car space can sort of find my videos approachable. I mean, I'm not going to go too hardcore with specs or history. It's sort of general. I mean, my interest in cars is general, and so is my knowledge. It's a big minus of this channel, but hopefully a positive too. Okay guys, well that's really all I wanted to achieve with this video. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much, and take it easy. See you.